Hello, and welcome back to Fatal 12. In the last episode, we had our fifth Divine Selection, and, we got rid of Shigetsugu, which Yu was not happy about. However, he managed to change to one of the cards that he had. I believe it was his regret. Rinka believes that, obviously, his memories returned, and he's trying, when Rinka's trying to figure out why his cards did indeed change. So with that, we may as well continue from where it is. The second is that he doesn't consider his previous name to be the real one. I'm leaning towards that idea. For example, he wants to distance himself from his previous self due to some bad experiences. Shigetsugu conjectured that his skill in combat came from being in an environment that demanded it. If that's the case, then he's likely been through all sorts of things that a normal person like me couldn't even imagine. Maybe I was too cruel. I can understand why he'd want to be eliminated to avoid remembering what he'd all gone. What all he'd gone through. Don't know why all is there. He's slightly struggling with his past right now. My own hesitation caused him to suffer. It's something I should have realized with ease, yet I unconsciously avoided it. Eliminating another is the same as killing them. I was simply too scared to shoulder that sin. I wonder what Naomi would say if she had heard all this. What would I have done if she were here? If she shouldered that sin with me? Things are different from before, though. I'm not sure how she'd react to me possibly eliminating someone. There's no point thinking about this. No one else can understand how I feel. Once again, I seal the cap on my emotions. I opt to run away. All the while overlooking the future that's in store for me. So out of week number 6, we're almost halfway through. Friday. In the end, I spent all my days following that as normal. That notable difference is everyone getting ready for the Culture Festival. I put a temporary hold on my efforts to gather information too, mainly because I was curious about what you said. I expect him to make some sort of move against me, so I've been half-heartedly watching out for that. I made sure to fill Mikaro in too. Somewhat ironic how I choose not to form a pact with her, yet we're practically working together. We haven't shared the details of one another's cards, but that's about it. Miharu seems to be at something of a loss regarding how to proceed herself. As for Alan and numeral 11, I haven't seen either of them since the last encounter. Alan did mention that he was trying to get his hands on information pertaining to that duo, so it's possible that both parties are scouting each other out now. Things couldn't go on like this, or things can't go on like this. I decided to walk through the park to take my mind off things. The Culture Festival starts tomorrow and ends Sunday. It's a 2-day thing. I shouldn't have to worry about being elected this week, as long as I don't do the same to anyone else. I hope that things settle down a bit during the Cultural Festival, since I've been hitting a wall so much recently. I need to get out of my frustrations today in order to accomplish that, though. Sitting down at my favourite bench, I gaze at the buildings in the distance. A single crow flies past, which makes the clock tower that already stands out even more captivating. I still find it hard to believe that this is the final destination park I mentioned. To me, it's a place I associate with memories of my childhood and my talk with Naomi a while back. I have to admit, I'm surprised Miharu didn't tell me a new one on Monday. Maybe something changed within her divine selection. Actually, hang on. If anyone changed, it's me. I'm able to talk things out with her now. The same might apply to her. I've noticed that we've been keeping fewer things from each other. People can't forcefully change one another, but the way we interact with each other can change along with us. That said, Naomi never changed her attitude towards me despite how I treated her. She did everything she could to maintain the status quo. I understand the weight behind her offer to share responsibility with me far more than I did back then. Naomi. My phone rings as if in response to my mumbling. I opened up my text app only to learn it's none other than Naomi. The text reads, "What is it?" That's odd. It's like she heard what I just said, but that can't be. I didn't dial her or anything. Rinka. I hear a voice from behind me. Part of me thinks I'm hearing things. This is suspicious. This is concerning. Sorry, I didn't intend to surprise you. This is suspicious. You are very clumsy, and yet you're suddenly good at sneaking? Don't worry about it. Shouldn't you be preparing for tomorrow? We mostly finished setting up, so we all decided to go home early today. Of course, we have to wake up extra early tomorrow to make up for it. Have you ever gone through not being able to sleep at night before a big exertion? Not really. How very like you. I was one of those kids myself. So, well, I was going through something similar today with the nerves and all. So I figured I might calm down if I came here and found you. I actually really like this place. So I've been coming every now and then ever since you first brought me. This is suspicious. I do not trust Naomi anymore. Thought she was a friend. The only one who I can trust is Mao, because Mao is not even in the game. Anyway, she struggles to hide her shy expression, not to mention her flushed cheeks. I feel myself cracking a smile. You're the class leader, so I guess you've got stuff on your mind. Don't put me under more pressure than I already am, please. I hardly stand out, and this is the first time I've done something like this. It doesn't help that I've always been introverted. Haha, you'll be alright. I know I shouldn't laugh, but there's something inherently adorable about her. Part of me is envious over her ability to worry so much over something like this. But that isn't the main reason I find myself smiling. I don't think I could ever imagine things turning out like this when we first met. Don't bring that up, please. I'll die of embarrassment. It was around the beginning of April, wasn't it? It feels like so long ago now. In a library. It was a Saturday after the first and second years of the entrance exam and opening ceremonies respectively. Class had ended the morning for us that day, but I was told to stay behind and finish all the homework I hadn't handed in. Not that it was my fault I hadn't done it. Gran was going to the countryside at the end of March, so I spent most of my time helping out with luggage and making preparations for the living on my own. Not to mention the time spent learning the ropes on the lion house could stay open. Those were all personal circumstances, though. Bringing them up to my teacher felt like I was making excuses, so I refused. Thus, I ended up retreating to the library to get it all done. The place was empty before the new term just begun, with the exception of one person. Yay! Rinka, before her hair was changed. I like it this way. There we go. That person was Hitsuji? Yeah, Hitsuji Naomi. Who had just started her life at Emeka. She must be a real bookworm to visit the library already. That was my first impression of her. I made my way over to an empty seat, pulling up homework waiting to be done. Naomi sat not too far from me, reading through a big pile of books. Thinking back, she must be a speed reader, considering she planned to finish the whole lot. Does she enjoy reading books here? I couldn't help but ponder aloud. She could have made some coffee and gotten cozy on her own bed and read it if she took them home. Granted, it wasn't my place to question her logic while I sat there to finish my homework at the beginning of the new term. I'm not sure how long we were in there for. All I remember is that it had grown pitch black outside. Just as I was about to leave to avoid being shouted at for staying past opening hours, I noticed that Naomi was still there. She wasn't reading though. She looked as if she was searching for something. She made her way through the bookshelves, checking the spines one book by one. Oh no. That's an odd loop for the audio. I can't recall if she said those exact words or not, but I did hear some sort of panic noise. Her expression and attitude made it all more apparent. Hey, is something the matter? Oh, sorry, I was about to leave. It's fine, I'm just a student. Did something happen? You seem troubled. Her reaction forced me to remember my bad reputation. Mao said that rumors about me spread like wildfire, even over the most minor of things, so the first years may already be aware of me. Golden streak in my hair, an intimidating expression, and petite. It hurt so much to admit, but most people would recognize someone with such specific traits. Judging by her demeanor, it's obvious that she's too scared to talk. Whatever, you're looking for something, right? Just tell me what it is, and I'll look around on my own. But I won't be able. It won't be long until the teacher kicks us out. If you don't want to help, if you don't want me to help, fine. But it seems important to you. I have fond memories of how funny her reaction to that was. Her eyes darted all over the place as she struggled to find a reply. Eventually, she stared right at me before speaking up. I accidentally put my notebook on the shelf instead of a book. I was reading a book at the same time and didn't even notice when I did it. I take it you're the clumsy type. Apparently, she received the notebook from her mother as an enrollment gift. Losing it that fast might earn her a record or two. She'd probably get a prize for innovation for the way she did it too. That said, I felt bad for her. It didn't seem likely that anyone would stumble across it, considering how many books the library had. Things would only get more difficult as days passed, and people switched them in and out too. That's why I decided to help her out. A teacher finally did come along and chase us off. I stopped searching at the point, instead opting to buy Naomi some time. An hour or so, she might have managed to find it. Thank you so much for your help. You even went out and convinced the teacher for me. I'm not sure what I did counts as convincing, but hey, I'm glad you found it. Better make your way home now. Could we go to the station together? People are going to start rumors about you if they catch you with me. Rumors? Why would they? You should know. Weren't you scared of me earlier? Scared? No, not at all. I was just embarrassed over what I've done. I may be the only person to lose something like that. That's probably just true. I felt dumb for worrying about my reputation. She didn't even know, and my appearance didn't intimidate her. It was all that special a moment when I think about it, but somehow, I felt like it was. Shishimai Rinka, pleased to meet you. Itsuji Naomi, pleased to meet you. I think it took less than a week for her to become more casual around me. Oh, it's worth noting that she tripped over herself on the way to the station. There was nothing special about how we met, yet it was a memorable occasion for me regardless. Both of us laughed as we talked about the past. Why did you have that notebook out? Why did you have that notebook out in the library anyway? I make a point to note down the title of whatever I've read and my thoughts. You could say it's my diary of sorts. My thoughts on certain books change depending on when I read them too. It's taken 2 months, but my curiosity is sated. It makes sense, considering how organized she is. Hey, about Monday. Can I ask about... We both speak at the same time, interrupting one another. The embarrassment that follows leads to a brief silence. We do it a second time, but now Naomi smiles. You first. Thanks. I wanted to wait until after the culture festival, but it seems like a good time. I want to apologize for the way I've treated you. Sorry for trying to wedge a wall between us. That was selfish of me. No, not at all. I know you did it out of concern. There's no need to apologize. Her eyes are darting all over me, but I make sure to keep my eyes on her. I needed her to understand that she shouldn't hold back. Noticing that, she nods. Nothing changed since then. I'm still as weak as ever. So, if you're fine with it, then... Naomi cuts me off with a hug. She pulls me right in and squeezes it hard enough that I feel each of her fingers caressing my back. You already know the answer to that question. Thanks, Naomi. Sorry for hugging you out of nowhere. She pushes herself away from me, leaving her hands out in front of her. I grab both with my right hand and then place my left on top. You should focus on tomorrow and Sunday for now, though. Right. We spent time chatting away following that. Once the park is about to close, we leave. It really is strange. The time we spent together in the park was brief, but it made me feel far better than I had in a long time. Good morning. Morning. Mihara arrives at school as I'm thinking back over the past week. We agreed to meet before moving into our class with stuff. Just waiting on Mao now, then the three musketeers have gathered. You seem less concerned than earlier this week. Did something happen? No, I just went for a refreshing walk. I'll take your word for it. As much as I love your troubled expression, I'd much rather see you relax today, especially when the fruits of Naomi's labour are on display. Not every day that you concern yourself with her. You think? I'm more than willing to admit that she's been working hard for this. Yeah. There it is. That's the smile I wanted to see, and I'm glad that even I can make you wear it. Geez, you really know how to exaggerate. Morning, troops. Sorry, kinda overslept. Mao turned up 5 minutes late. Her face, not to mention bags under her eyes, make it obvious that she's pretty worn out. How long did you stay awake? Figured I'd be solid, but then I started to read some mangas, and I'd been lying around. Man, I'm beat. Not like you're any different during the week. We did set a meeting time expecting this to happen though, so let's go. Good job. I'm not sure my vocabulary can cover just how awful that was. We honestly thought making a dark room and putting a crystal ball in it would make it feel authentic. Let's not even mention how they literally just called it fortune teller. I won't blame them for just for throwing on some black clothes and considering their budget. But there's something to be said about having us simply print out a customer's fortune and hand it to them. You're spitting a lot of venom today. Oh, I know those type of people. Nothing but venom. Come on, I had some fun at least. Miro wasn't wrong though. It was very meh, to say the least. Fortune telling itself was done via PC program. Bought by one of the girls familiar with that sort of stuff, so it wasn't bad. Put your date of birth and some other info in it, and it spits out results based on your horoscope. It was our job to print out and hand out said results to anyone who wanted them. She probably didn't get permission from the creator to use it for this, so the idea is a bit of a grey area. Then again, charging 100 yen per go probably tipped the scales. More importantly, Now we can get to actually enjoy the culture festival. If you enjoy, if by enjoy you mean spend time in the library till noon and before going home, then yes. Well, once we're done with Naomi's class, I mean. Relax, I'm doing the same. Though, hey, might as well get a look at what's going on elsewhere before that. Phew, I'm beeped. We actually ended up walking around the whole school. Mao doesn't have it in her to skip stuff if she's... What? Mao doesn't have it in her to skip stuff she has no interest in if she sees that people put effort into it. Not sure if I should praise her for that or not. We're not used to her dragging us around like this since last year, so neither me nor Miharu are bothered. Not that we've admitted to her, of course. Well, we do skip out on some stuff. We do skip out on the stuff on the auditorium and courtyard, so you could argue that it's more a case of self-gratification. There's still plenty to see and learn from going around and checking out different stuff, at least. Speaking of, there's one major thing I noticed while we're doing so. There's plenty of people carrying cups around it, aren't they? Indeed. They even have plastic lids on them. Looks like letting people take their cups around campus was the right idea. It must be pretty busy. Hopefully it's all going okay. Curious, are we? Guess it's time to begin our raid on our class then. We passed by once already, so they know which way to go. The corridors have been gradually filled up with people as the day drags on. We make our way through the crowd with one destination in mind. Oh, they've got it nice and fancy looking. 30 classrooms are on the 3rd floor, and Naomi being the end of the corridor. There seems to be a lot of customers too, possibly thanks to the tickets that they're selling at the reception area. One door is being used as an entrance and the other as an exit. A number of people are making their way out with plastic cups in hand. It feels similar to that you'd see at the big coffee shop chains. Granted, it's largely meant to be used as more of a rest area. You can see the dripping procedure as well, so I guess it's part of the experience. There's a nice fragrance making its way in the hallways. That's a good sign. It's probably one of the reasons why it's so busy. Normally you don't get the chance to enjoy something like this at school. I split the tickets between the three of us before we make our way in. Oh, where's Naorin? Can't see her anywhere. Let me go ask. She approaches one of the girls at school. She approaches one of the girls at the door to ask. Seems like this is where you pay if you don't have a ticket. 200 yen a cup makes it sense when you take the budget into account. Looks like she went out with some friends to stock up since they're running low. She just left, so it'll take a while before she's back. Guess they got a lot more customers than expected. She must have this place under right tight control. I'm impressed. Wanna come back later? Might as well stick around now that we're here. We can always come back again. Sounds good. My feet have been begging for a seat anyway. Miharu nods in agreement. Made our tickets and go over to get some coffee. They're the same chairs we use for class, but they're nice and we have some nice tablecloth and decorations set up on the desks. Makes the ideal spot to sit down and escape from all activity outside. The coffee's nice and fragrant, so they definitely worked hard on it. I can't imagine Naomi doing her best to teach everyone how to brew it. I hope to get the chance to taste her coffee when she's back. Naomi's fondness for the Lionhouse is rather apparent. It is kind of similar, now that you mention it. It feels like a spin-off. Makes sense considering how often she came. I helped her pick out the coasters and things too. You truly are a big influence on her, aren't you? Mao asks for some milk and extra sugar. I take a peek into a cup to see the results. The coffee is mostly pure white. I mean, you can drink it however you want. She takes a sip before changing the subjects. Oh yeah, there was a new transfer student or something among the first years. I noticed someone I hadn't seen before. They're small and white hair. So it's you. You's joining the school. Of course you are. Why is he doing that? Couldn't get a proper look, but I caught sight of them this morning. Not too familiar with the other years, so I can tell you. Same, I'm surprised you noticed though. It's hard not to notice a kid like that. They stand out as much as you do, Rinny. Looked a bit young to be in high school, but their boyish appearance was kinda cute. No doubt they got tons of chocolate on Valentine's Day. Did they stand out that much? Yep. Want me to ask when we get the opportunity? It can't be. All the dots connect as she describes the person to us. White hair, young looking, boyish. There's only one person I know that fits the description. I'm probably only thinking things. Well, they had our school uniform on, right? Yep, that's why I figured they were first year. Oh hey, it looks like they're back. A few girls make their way through the entrance, holding large plastic bags. Naomi was nowhere to be seen though. I heads back to the class desk again. Apparently she's talking to someone she knows. And what do you know? It's the transfer student we were talking about. I wonder if something's happened between them. No way. I share my thoughts for all to hear. I'm not overthinking things. I can't figure out why, but I just know. Sorry, do me a favor and wait elsewhere. Rennie, what's up? I make eye contact with Miharu. Looks like we're on the same page. I rush out the classroom, leaving Miharu to deal with Mao. He's here. Hugh's come to my school. I make my way to the hallway, which is as lively as ever. There's even more people than before, which leads me to an even bigger line to get into the classroom. Where's Naomi? I didn't see them anywhere. You should be stand out regardless of how many people there are, so it must not be on this floor. Immediately after that, something I could never expect unfolds. A thunderous roar bursts from the hallway. The whole building shakes. It's a bit too short, too weak, to be an earthquake though. Unrest starts spreading through the students and visitors though. None of them expected something like this to occur. Worry and confusion take hold. Did you explode again? A sharp headache follows soon after. It's similar to the one I experienced when I first met you in person. Wait, oh that's right. Our meeting in front of Shigetsugu's house wasn't at first. My memory is still fuzzy, but my psyche is sending me warning signals. Either way, all I can do is head towards the source of the noise. I dash through the crowds, who have already begun to settle back down. It isn't until I'm on my... What? It isn't until I am on my to another floor that the evacuation order gets issued. Naomi finds herself in the pursuit of a young boy. She doesn't know his name, but the look in his eyes was familiar. So this is earlier, I'm assuming. While the class leader has to make sure everything runs smoothly, she decides to go with some friends to stock up and ensure that they don't miss anything. As well as they take charge of in the off chance that things they need is sold out. As expected, they couldn't find the exact same things they needed, but she was able to pick out some suitable replacements. Fortunately, she expected things might become hectic on the first day. She did everything she could to make sure things would go well, but it's rare for that to happen doing such things for the first time. Curious about how things were going, they made their way back to school. Everything was fine until Naomi noticed a boy with white hair amongst the students. He was wearing the Akameka uniform. The most striking thing about him was that he would be easy to mistake for a regular student thanks to his gender-neutral appearance. However, Naomi is aware of his true nature. He's a participant in the divine selection. He could very well be Rinka's enemy. Hello, you. You do pull off that uniform pretty well. He looks all around as he explores the school. Naomi can only be summarized that he is searching for someone, most likely Rinka. At first, she considers getting in touch with Rinka, who's probably still at school, but her phone battery has died. Out of all things to forget, it had to be charging her phone. Naomi was already convinced herself to take charge of the situation. She makes up an excuse to her friends and begins to tell him. Something's different. He resembles a predator searching for its prey. This isn't the same person that she saw at the station the other day. The gut is telling her that he's planning something here. Her heart races. Every thump is palpable. Just then a sharp headache overtakes her. Her mind flashes back to the dream she had of Rinka's death. Dreams that she had told Rinka about. Those were memories of the event that had been undone. There's still many question marks surrounding it though. Why did it happen? How did it happen? And the perpetrator behind it. I think with that, we shall call it there. If you are interested in this story, in this development of the 6th week, turn in for the next one. Also, I only just now noticed the bear with the wine glasses. Anyway, hopefully I can see you in the next one. With that, goodbye.